Plot and story structure. In fiction books, the plot goal / overall premise of the book is laid out at the start of the book alongside the conflict, okay? Basically, the story's plot reflects how to solve the problem of the central source of conflict, okay? So in the Harry Potter series, Harry must defeat Voldemort, and this is laid out in book 1 of the series. Harry learns that he is the chosen one, the one that they have prophesized about, and he knows from the very beginning that he is going to be the one responsible for bringing down the most evil villain of all of the wizarding world, right? If you are writing a book series, it is absolutely critical to get the overall plot goal laid out as well as the series goal, okay? So when you have multiple books in a series, let's say you have 3 books in a series, the first book is focused on laying out the overall plot goal for that one book, and then also the series goal for books 1, 2, and 3. Subplots. Subplots are not the main book's plot, but they keep things moving. To add sophistication, intrigue, and more layers to your book, consider adding in subplots. Subplots are where you add little plot arcs through your book. On top of this, you can add character arcs throughout your book. And actually, that's a really important thing that I'm going to be talking about in the characters, for the characters pillar. Basically, character arcs can serve as plot arcs in which the character undergoes a transformation by the end of the book. They come to a realization, they understand that how they acted at the beginning of the book was wrong, or they realize that they're more powerful, more strong stronger than they originally thought at the beginning of the book. There are so many ways that characters can change, and a character arc is a really good way to add in a subplot to your book. One of the main things that will drive your story's plot into the ground is by having unnecessary scenes. Each and every scene needs to show some type of forward progression through the novel, whether that is character development or the plot moving forward. It's very important that you make sure that every single scene in your book belongs. So your book's plot should start to become clear no later than about 25% into your book. So each book is comprised of a beginning, middle, and the end. At the beginning is basically setting up, kind of a regular day in the life of your protagonist. Then there is an inciting event, something that happens in the character's life that changes everything. And usually this is where it starts to become obvious that there's a problem that the main character needs to resolve. And this is where your plot goal starts to take shape. The book's protagonist will acknowledge the issue, the main source of conflict. Remember, that's the thing that's driving your book. So there's a source of conflict. The book's main character needs to realize, hey, I need to do something to fix this issue. And that is when your character enters the middle of the book, which is really the meat of the book, and things start going now. So in the book's middle, there are going to be several incidents where your character needs to overcome certain obstacles in order to reach his or her plot goal. And usually, if you look at it, there is it kind of looks like a roller coaster. There's a obstacle 1, goes up, obstacle 1, and then obstacle 2, and then the book's climax. And obviously, as each of these obstacles are taking place, the book's tension will keep building. Readers will continue to stay engaged because there's so much on the line. And a good way to show this is through raising the stakes and really making the stakes obvious. This is another thing that we will talk about as another one of the pillars of writing. So your climax of the novel should take place around the 75%, 80% of the way through your manuscript. The climax of the book is where all the excitement reaches its peak. After the climax is the resolution. And this is basically how the book ends, where the characters are at, what lessons they've learned after the climax and all the events of the book takes place. And this is basically where you leave off your readers. It's important that your resolution is something that is satisfying to readers. You want to make sure that you end your book with a bang. The beginning and the end chapters are really the most important ones. Those are the ones that readers are going to remember the most. So it's really important that you nail it. Okay, so questions to ask for the plot and story structure. Number 1, is the plot goal for the book laid out from the start, and does it resolve at the end of the book satisfactorily? So this is important. You absolutely have to make sure that your book is a satisfactory read. You want readers to walk away with a sense of fulfillment. You want readers to be able to finish the last page of your book and really realize what you're trying to say in your book. And this one is important. Are there scenes in the book that do not serve the plot and don't seem to have a point? In quite a few of the books that I edit and critique, there are scenes that are just seem to be thrown in there without really a purpose or a point. So when you're going through your book, when you're writing your book, or when you're self-editing your book after the fact, you want to make sure that you have a critical eye, that every single scene contributes to the forward momentum of the book. Now, that means that every single scene needs to contribute to character development or plot progression in one way or another.